Hello, I'm Sherry Lee Wojcik, and I am here doing my fabulous interview with Heather E. Wilson, the creator, the mama bear of our Canadian coaching club. And I'm so excited to be the one to be able to interview her. So this is exciting. Hi, Heather.
Hi, Sherry Lee. Thanks so much for stepping up and being my interview. This is really strange for me. Usually I'm doing the interviewing, so I love this.
Uh-huh. That's great. Well, I figure everybody was too afraid to select you as the person to interview, and I thought, go for it, go for it. And we've talked before, so I know that we have a great conversation. So the first thing I want to ask you about, though, is the E in Heather E. Wilson. Tell me about that.
So the E is the initial for my middle name, which is Eileen. And it's kind of a funny story. Not that my middle name is Eileen, but so many years ago, like a long time ago, I had one of those psychic numerology, is your name fortunate, that kind of thing done.
Mm-hmm.
And it came back to me saying that if I just used Heather Wilson, it was not fortunate at all. But as soon as I threw the E in there, I would be just showered in abundance and the world would change for me. So I figured, well, what harm can it do? So I added that in. But now there's a secondary reason. So the second reason is because there's another Heather Wilson who's a coach in Canada, in Toronto. She has not joined us yet.
What are the chances?
Exactly. And she's blonde. And I have been mistaken for her, or her, actually the other way around, her for me, more than once. And
wow.
So it's really important to me to have the E because I'm the only Heather E. Wilson Canadian coach in Canada. So at least
that's right
now. And so that's right now for online presence. That's the true real reason, but it doesn't hurt to have, my numerology and fortunate name all ducks in a row too, right?
That's right. So were they right though? Did your life turn around after you added the E?
Well, yes, actually. However, I'm not 100% consistent enough yet. So that's one of the things is you're supposed to be 100% consistent across the board, right? Like Michael J. Fox, he's always Michael J. Fox. And so I haven't quite trained the world yet to completely call me Heather E. Wilson instead of just Heather Wilson. So that's me because I'm, I have to still change a few documents and things like that.
Yes.
For the most part, I try really hard to go by Heather E. Wilson. It sounds really cool. Like, why not?
It does. It's mysterious. What does the E mean? So when we meet you, though, do we have to call you Heather E. Wilson, or can we call you just Heather?
No. So if
Heather
you're talking to me in
Heather
person,
E.
it's just Heather is fine. It's when it's with my last name. So for like when I'm speaking or big introductions or like my bio online, things like that, if it's with my last name, the initial should be there. So there's your
fabulous
fact about Heather.
I love that story.
Yeah.
I love that story. So tell me about how you became a coach.
Okay. Yeah. So I've actually been a coach in Canada for about 10 years, maybe a little bit longer. And believe it or not, I kind of fell into it. It was, I had been working on my own life. I had all sorts of weird stuff happen to me that was not pleasant, in what I call my previous life, in my 20s and such. And one day I just was like, you know what? Done. And it was actually a Bon Jovi song, It's My Life. And it just totally me up. And I was like, it's my life. It's now or never. I'm not going to live forever, So I was like, okay, it's my life. I'm not going to listen to anybody else anymore. I'm not living up to expectations of other people. It's my plan, my life. I'm doing it. And it was so freeing. Like that was like crazy freeing. And so in a 2-year time span, I lost about 70 pounds.
Wow.
Paid off all my ex's divorce. Well, I got divorced.
Yes.
And bought my own house, just myself. I bought my own house.
Wow.
My kids myself. And I went to Hawaii and I ran the Honolulu Marathon, having never ran a step in my life up until that point.
No.
Before training. Yeah. So I started doing all these really crazy things with my life. I was just like, I started traveling. I started like, just you name it. My kids were really small and I was just like, that's it. You know what? I could die tomorrow. I am doing stuff. So I started doing stuff, like crazy stuff, what people would think crazy. And people started to notice. Now, I was working 3 jobs at this time, right? Mortgage, kid, car, the whole deal. And people were coming to me like, oh my God, like, what have you done? And how did you do it? And can you help me? And so I was like, well, I don't know. Here's what I did. You know, grab life by the horns and just start living it. And so, but basically I was having these big conversations with people like every evening when I'm supposed to be helping with homework and all these other stuff. And first it was friends, and then friends of friends, and friends of friends of friends. And this was all totally for free in my part-time, which as a single mother, no part-time. Like there was
3 jobs, what part-time?
There was zero time. And so I was at the major burnout point. Because I wanted to help these people, but I just couldn't. And so I wrote a book. I was like, I'm going to put it all in a book. If you need it, here, read my book, then come see me after that. So I wrote a book called Your Life According to You. It was actually, I self-published it, but not on Amazon and all that. So this was like a long, long time ago, right?
Yeah.
And I basically put my story in a book with some what would now be considered coaching tips, you know, coachy stuff.
Yeah.
And then I started getting people to ask me to speak. And I was like, what? I've never spoken ever. And who would want to listen to me and all this kind of stuff, right? And then I was like, okay, I'll try it, right? What can it hurt? Because as you probably figured, I'm a very big risk taker. I just like do it. I don't worry about stuff or that kind of thing. So my very, very, very first speaking gig was here in on Prince Edward Island. They paid me $250 to speak for an hour. They gave me a gift and supper.
Love it.
And I was like blown away. And all I had to do was talk. Pretty good at generally. And I was like, holy cow, I just made more in 1 hour than I do in like 3 days, right? And sold.
Yeah, light bulbs went on, hey?
Yeah. Big time. But I still had not heard of coaching at this point. So then I started getting a whole bunch of speaking gigs, you know, all over Prince Edward Island and the Maritimes. But women in particular started coming up to me and saying, oh my goodness, I want to work with you. And I'm like, what? What is that? Like, what would that even look like? And they're like, yeah, you know, you're coaching. I want to coach with you. I was like, I have no idea what that is. Like, I had never heard of it.
I love it.
So I Googled coaching.
Oh my God.
I seriously Googled coaching. So anyway, long story short, I became a coach, got some training, all that kind of stuff, quit all my jobs, cold turkey. Don't recommend this, by the way. But I was just done. And that's it. You know, so I've been coaching ever since. Now my niche has changed many, many times over the years. But I basically have been a business coach primarily for at least the last 5 years. I've always had bits of it, but definitely the last 5 years, because now I've been a coach with a business, a successful business, for a long time. And coaches just started coming to me asking for help, which is kind of funny because originally when I first started coaching, I thought there was this massive scam that, you know, only coaches coach coaches. Where are the real clients? Where are the real people? Right? And so I refused to coach coaches. I was like, coach, don't come to me. I'm not going to help you. Right? but this was, don't forget, a long time ago.
Yes.
Seems like a long time ago, but it was, 10 years
Yes.
plus when the industry
Yeah.
was like non-existent.
Yeah.
And then eventually, as I said, it's been to the point where now I've had a coaching business for so long. I've done pretty much it all, and so now I do help coaches, and now it's my passion, and I love helping coaches and Canadian coaches in particular. And that's the coaching story, kind of long.
That's okay. So from that though, how did you get into starting the Canadian Coach?
Canadian Coach. So
segue there.
Yeah, so that's interesting story too. Is it's actually thanks to our neighbors down south and their election. And what started happening is a lot of Canadian coaches somehow found me, and I was getting Canadian clients like crazy. And because they didn't want to go down south, they didn't want to pay US dollars.
Yeah.
And they wanted to support local, support home, right? And so that was like, whoa, light bulb moment as well. And it's like, of course, I want to help Canadian coaches so much. And as you can tell, I'm a massive fan of Canada. Like everywhere I go, I'm like giving out Canadian pins and like just telling everyone to come visit Canada. I'm just probably Canada's #1 fan. And so I personally wanted to join a group, like a community, a Canadian coaching community. And I researched forever, Facebook, Google, LinkedIn, like research. I was like, there has to be something besides the ICF. There just has to, right? An association of who knows what, right? Nothing. There is nothing that exists in Canada specifically for Canadian coaches until now. And so again, I'm like, well, I'm just going to do it. All right. I'll do it. I would love to do it. It would be the most passionate, amazingest thing ever. I want to do it. And so I started just the Facebook group with no intention. Well, like not no intention, but like in a few years, perhaps build out a website and all that kind of stuff. Well, my first 100 people in the Facebook group pretty much just like, it was just crazy. And yourself, like our group is so supportive and so engaged and interactive. And every day I like, there's something that just warms my heart that somebody says to somebody else or offers support or all that juicy
It's
stuff.
Very Canadian.
And that's the point.
Right? It is.
Because we get it. We get each other. And like there's just that level of respect, but still fun and all that awesome stuff. And it just gives me goosebumps all the time, every time I think about it. And so after it was actually last summer, believe it or not. So 2017, last summer was when the Facebook group started.
Right. I remember that. Did we talk right around that?
I think so. You had joined, you were one of kind of the early adopters.
Yes.
In the Facebook group.
That's me.
Yeah. And so there was like a big, massive discussion about having a website and a directory and a place to host all our resources and live events and like all this great, amazing stuff. And I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it. Right? And I like twisted my arm. And so basically I took all winter to build it out. Cause as you know, it's a pretty diversely functional, like there's all sorts of moving parts to the website. And so it's not just a directory, right? Like to me, that's almost not the least important, but down on the list of benefits, right? It's the community. It's absolutely the community. And the fact is that there's trainings and group coaching and all this crazy, amazing stuff that people can get that is 100% Canadian.
I love that.
And every day I just get more and more excited and more passionate about it. And I have so many ideas. You guys have no idea. Like new stuff is coming all the time. I do have to be strategic, of course, but it doesn't mean I don't have a big massive plan. because I am a big visionary type person, as you probably figured that out too.
Mm-hmm.
And so those of you who, you know, are jumping on board now, it's awesome. Hold on, because great stuff is coming. And I can guarantee you that the dollar to join right now is not staying. In fact,
No, it's so Canadian pricing.
yeah, exactly. And that is the main, you know, the point.
Yes.
But I guarantee you it's on its last run right now.
Yeah.
So,
As you grow, you've got to, right? And the value is so huge there. It's
yeah.
I love that it's Canadian focused.
Yeah.
And I'd never, you know, I mean, typically you're in groups and there's all over the world, which I really like.
I like that.
But
too.
I really like having this little pocket of just Canadians.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know some of the things that you've got up your sleeve and they sound really, really exciting.
Yeah. I am super excited. And I myself, like I'm a I love traveling. I love meeting people from all over the world. I love being in other groups where there's, you know, international flair, but I like coming home.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that the Canadian Coach group is like coming home daily.
Right.
And it's your little pocket in the world. You can always, you know, we can post a Canadian meme. Everybody kind of gets it.
You don't have to explain it to anybody.
You don't have to explain it. We have inside jokes. We have all this just great support. And
it's wonderful. You're
I could
building
go
an
on all
amazing
day.
community.
All day.
Yeah. So what do you love most about being Canadian?
Oh,
Pick one thing. No, I know you're a big fan. I know you love everything. You have to pick one thing. One thing.
One thing.
Yeah. Number one, biggest thing that stands out.
Oh, you're going to stump me on that. All right. I'm going to say our diversity. And it's not, we have a diversity in peoples, right? And we have amazing diversity across the country in people. We have a massive diversity in landscape.
Oh, yeah.
From coast to coast. We have a massive diversity in our food, just everything. And I love that. And yet we all, and we can't even articulate it, most of us, have a Canadian identity as a country. Like, do you remember the Tragically Hip final concert? Like, who does not remember that, right? Every single Canadian came together.
Yes. Yeah.
You would never find another country in the world that would do that.
Yeah. And that was iconically Canadian, right? I mean,
iconically Canadian.
Yeah.
So it's all that kind of stuff. You know, we are super diverse, and yet, just like our group, we can come together as a cohesive community and unit. And I love that.
That's fabulous. And I love that you're replicating that in the Canadian Coaches Club that you're building, right? Like on the website, in the Facebook group, there's a wide variety of people and types of coaches, and they live all over the place, and yet we all come together.
And ultimately, when we have our very first really big Canadian Coach Live event, we're going to replicate that in person.
Yeah. Amazing. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be mind-blowing.
I'm going to be there. For sure.
Awesome.
So what is one last thing you're going to leave us with?
One last thing is, this is only the start. Only the beginning. The Canadian Coach is young, right? We only actually launched the website in January. Well, actually, February, beginning February. So we are young. There is so much to come. And those who jump on board now, they're locked in forever at our current pricing, which is ridiculously low.
Yeah, sure is.
And get to benefit forever. So don't wait. Don't wait. Don't sit on the fence.
Second that.
Don't be a fence sitter. I know Canadians, we kind of often can be fence sitters.
Yep.
In this case, it's not going to do you any good, because Yeah, just
Yeah.
don't be a fence sitter. And stay tuned for some really amazing cool stuff coming.
Cool. Awesome. Well, I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be part of the community you're building, representing the West Coast here. And it's so much fun talking to you always.
Yes, and thank you, Sherry Lee. And I'm sure we will be having many more conversations in the near future.
I look forward to it.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.